Hello, friends. Welcome to Share Market Winners. Um, there is a poll which we have conducted in our chat group where you have said you wanted to understand how to use the indicators. First and foremost, thanks for all your support. Um, Share Market Winners is a small set of group which we formed to just to share and exchange knowledge. Um, as we have already mentioned, we are not a SEBI registered consultant. Just have a look on the disclaimer. This is just for our knowledge purposes. Um, so first topic we are going to discuss is how to use indicators. Okay, you all know what is indicator. Just to give a brief, probably indicators are primarily meant for us to um, indicate the situation. Indicators are also used in our real-time situations. As an example, when you go for a level crossing, there you can find a signal which gives an indication that whether you have to pass the level crossing or hold on until we get a signal to pass. So that's one example. And similarly, some symptoms of our body also um, shows like pain in our body, which shows that there is a muscle contraction or something like that, which notifies with the signal that the pain is the indication. Okay, so that's the just to give a brief what is indicator. So indicators are widely used in the share markets to indicate the symptoms of how the share prices is going to behave in the upcoming, or probably indicators are two types. One is something which happened and shows the indication, and also some indicators gives the sense of in the future how it is going to behave. So those are the two types of indicators. In a in a real-time scenario, probably the indicator plays a major role to understand the price movement and take the whether it is a swing or a positional or intraday, it will varies. So we need to use appropriate time frames to select the indicators. Okay, let's go into the details of how do you set up the indicator and how to use the indicator for taking a trade or a positional from the use of indicators. Okay, so I primarily use um, two indicators which I can show you. And if you're not subscribed to the Share Market Winners YouTube or Facebook, I'll give the descriptions in the our channel. Please feel free to subscribe. There are few videos which I have prepared. You can go through that. Um, I, as I mentioned before, the Trading View is one of the software which I primarily use for predict, do the indications. But the one which I am showing right now is the um, non-premium version, which everybody can able to register of free of cost, which you can make use of it by logging into it. Once you log in, you can able to go to the super charts where you will be able to um, see what is the trend, or you can search particular stocks and find out what is the trend or a chart patterns in which it will represent the price movement of a particular share. Okay, so just loading on. We'll wait to see how. Yeah, so what you can do is you can search a particular stock and you can select a particular exchange. Right now it is selected for all, so it shows all the exchanges. It does give US, um, UK, any of the market updates. So you can select, filter it to a particular location. So let's all discuss about India. So I'm just choosing India and I'm going to find out a particular stock from this one. So right now, let's take an example of a Reliance bank, Reliance, so that Reliance, we know it's one of the top rated company in India, so which we will use it to plot the indicator. By default, the chart or the um, screen looks like this. So what you have to do is you'll have to understand how this is moving upward or a downward, for which we will use the indicator. In this, you have a various um, options to use. So you can use a candlestick or other patterns of charts which you can use it. I primarily use the candlestick patterns, which is normally every other uh, traders or investors uses. Okay, so next to that you can find the indicator. There are various indicators, as I mentioned. There are one is a um, indicator usually represents uh, after the price action or a price movement happens, that indicates to us in a graphical representation using this tool. Okay, so we can sense whether the price movement happens in the right direction at what we are predicting. So these indicators can be used to understand how it is going to move or how the next moves are going to be. Okay, so in that two things you have to understand whether I am a long-term investor or a short-term investor or a intraday, based on which you have to select the time frame in which you wanted to plot these indicators. Okay, so if you are going to be an long-term investor, I usually prefer to use day, um, weeks, and months to predict the movement or upcoming future movements of the stock. Okay. Similarly, for a short term or intraday, probably 5 minutes or a 15 minutes, if it is a um, quick swing, then swing traders, they probably use minutes of time frames as well. So let's go with the 1 day time frame to predict how the uh, price actions are going to move for this Reliance industry. Okay, so for that indicator, we have to use, there are multiple indicators within that. Mostly, um, first indicator which we can use is moving average. Okay, that is the most and commonly used indicator, which will be very simple to use. Okay, so there are simple moving average, exponential moving average, and there are two other Hall moving average, and um, one more is weighted moving average. So let's see what is a simple moving average. If you go and click on this one, simple moving average, it will automatically add as a simple moving average here. Okay, that you can default, it will come with the 9. So you have to add two simple moving average so that it will be here. In that you can go to the settings. This is a settings box where you can set up the length. Length is nothing but based on the how many days. It is a 9 days of a candlesticks which it will take for a length. Okay. Similarly, you can choose the whether it is an EMA or um, WMA or VWMA. So different methods which we can choose, but in a area where you wanted to understand how the price moves, so I normally choose to have a 9 or length as a 12 days moving average. Okay, and then for the other one I will choose to give 24. So you can see in the background there is a change in the line drift which happened because we have chosen the length, and you in the style you can change the color of a particular indicator. If you can see, I'm changing the color for the 24 simple moving average with the green color. Okay, I'm just increasing the breadth of that line so that you will be able to see. Okay, and the other one, which is nothing but a 9 length moving average, for which I am giving the red. Okay, so either way you can change it, but if the shorter period or a shorter time frame is given with the um, green color, okay, and the 24, which is the longer time period, for which I'm if we have to select any color, but normally I prefer to use red and green so that it gives an indication what will be the best choice of use. Okay, so for a simple or a new traders, this is sufficient to understand how the indication goes on. Okay, if you look at a day candle for a Reliance, you can see there is a crossover of a 24 moving average by a 12 moving average, which indicates that the candles are well above that, which indicates that it is started moving an uptrend. Okay, that gives an indication as and when it crosses back on the 24 moving average. It's a simple moving average, it is not so aggressive, but it will give an indication that it is going to change the direction of trend. So when you take a positional trade or a swing trade, you can consider this point to understand whether it is going well above the trend line of 12 moving average, simple moving average. You can hold the position until it crosses, so that you will make a good benefit. If you mark a line from here, you will be able to understand at what point, if you have taken this position. Okay, you could have taken the position around 2316 rupees, and if it crosses and touches the 24 moving average, that is a good point to come out. Or if you feel uh, you don't want to take a much of a risk, you could have come out from this point, and another entry point which is given is from this point. So ideally, when it comes and crosses or touches this point, that's the point where you need to take a exit for a safe exit. So if you can see from the simple moving average indicator which we have used, it can give a validation of about 2316, and the price has moved up to 2648. This happened over a period of months. Okay, I would say from by November month, mid of November until the first week of January, this price has moved in the good upward trend, where if you would have invested, you would have made a good profit. Okay, that's the scenario. And how do I confirm this? I can use another additional indicators like MACD. That's another indicator which is called as a moving average convergence and divergence. Okay, which can be used, but considering the it's not a premium membership, I'll be allowed to use only 3 indicators. So volume is another factor which can show you how the volume of that particular indicator moves. Okay, this is how, um, for example, I'm I'm just checking if I can use another indicator so that you'll be able to see what is the moving average convergence or divergence can be used. Okay, there are various indicators. I'm just going to talk about only the moving average today for you all to understand. So I'm just checking moving average crossover, that will have mostly um, two combination of indicator, or it will be a combination of two lines which we are trying to draw. So moving average cross. Okay, this is a paid one, so it is not allowing. Um, the first one I am using it. It's slightly a different one, which can also tweaked. It has multiple time frames and various fields, which is using a moving average period of 50, where I'm going giving a 12, and you can also for a longer time frame, which you are giving 100. Turning on that, probably similar way. There are a lot of other indicators which can um, use moving average cross. It will be a simple one so that you'll be able to understand very easily. So I'm choosing this one and going on editing to that and changing the um, moving average shorter length and the longer length as 24, so that you'll be able to see. And for as we discussed before, you need to change the um, color pattern for a shorter, which I'm saying we'll use green so that it will always indicates the sentiment of green line in the uptrend, and for the shorter ones, we longer length, we are giving the red color so that it indicates that it is in the downtrend. So it's just a um, look and feel which I am adjusting it. So it gives in a one single indicator, you will be able to fit the both the lines or a moving average. And now if I go and check for the moving average MACD, which is an confirmation which we are going to use, MACD moving average convergence and divergence, it will allow me to add now. Okay, so this is another indicator which will be used for giving a confirmation whether I have taken the position at the right time. Say, as long as the center line or a median line which is in the green side, and both the lines which is here are moving towards the upward direction, then it gives the confirmation, and probably that is the best point in which you can take it as a confirmation. uh, and if you can see here, there is a crossover happened, but this crossover is not a confirmation because it is in the downside. However, this crossover is confirmed over a period of time. When it crosses both the line above the center median, you will take the confirmation to enter. Okay, so it is crossing at this point. It is good to take a position here, a positional trading, and you can hold until it crosses back. So this is a point where it actually crossed. Okay, here it is not crossed, it touched, and it is a crossover which happens. Safe exit can happen from here because it is already crossed, which is giving a notification saying that it is going to go down. But since it is in the upper side of the um, chart, it shows that it might be a slight fall or it can go. But for a safe exit, I would refer to consider a exit at this point. Okay, this can be used as a additional confirmation indicator, which is called as a um, convergence and moving average convergence and divergence. To reduce the noise, it will show that. Okay, other thing which we can use is RSI, which is a relative strength indicator, which can be used as a combinational one, which can give you overbought zone or oversold zones, which will help you to also understand. So at this point, you can see the bottom. We can adjust this settings as well. Usually, we'll prefer to set 20 Okay, there is an RSI length which is they are combining two. That's why we are having SMA as well, where I'm choosing that as an exponential, whereas it has multiple periods. If you go to the style where you are going to set the lower band as 25 and the upper band as 80, so that you will know whether it is in the whenever the price touches at the bottom, it indicates that's the lower band, which is in the oversold zone, which will give us symptoms that it will the price is trying to move in the upward direction. Okay, if you are taking any position at the um, overbought zone, this is the oversold zone. So when you take a position at this point, high chances there is a movement, price action movement will happen in the upward trend. And once it touches the overbought zone, there is a high chances the price or the selling would happen so that the price moves in the downward direction. So this can also used as a confirmation for you to make a buy call and exit at the point when it reaches to a portion of a oversold overbought zone. So that's how you will use these two indicator in combination to check whether to hold that particular stock or not. Okay, let's take an example of any stocks which we are currently holding it. For an example, I'm going to see my favorite stock, Apollo Microsystems. Okay, so as we talked about, this is the good point to entry. So, and if you can see, this is another point where you could have entered, because these are the points where you will be able to enter, because there is a moving crossover happens. And if you are not a long-term investor, you could have exited at this point. Or if you are a long-term investor, you can hold this position for a longer period by uh, understanding the pattern of two which we have used. If you would have entered from this point, you can hold that until it crossover happens. So the crossover exactly at the point of a peak it has shown, it has gone to the overbought zone. So it is given an indication the price is going to move in the downward direction. Okay, so at this point, if you would have bought it from here at 56 rupees, the price has gone up to 158, and it has given an indication stating that it is in the overbought zone. So that will give you an indication to exit the position. Okay, this is for a not for an intraday trader. It is just for a person who is doing a swing or a holding it for a longer period. And being a long-term investor, you will be able to know this is still not come down to the um, uh, still not gone high and again touch the overbought zone. So it is safe. We can hold that position until it is going up. Okay. So that is how we'll be using this indicator for a swing trading or for a positional. Okay. And there is another indicator which can be used for a long-term investors, which is nothing but a 50, 100 and 200 moving average, which I normally use to understand the pattern whether it is in the right direction. So in the same scenario, this indicator would also give you an indication in correlation with the RSI indicator to give a confirmation that it is in the overbought or a oversold zone. So at this point, it is trending down, but still it is well above the uh, 50 moving average or 100 moving average. If it crosses the 200 moving average, it gives a symptom that it is going to um, fall further. Okay, so when it when the candlesticks are well above 150 moving average, you can hold the position on that particular stock. Okay, that is the that is how we can use the indicator. So thanks for watching it. You can um, see the similar setup which you can done it in your Zerodha or something like that, which I can quickly show that so that you can make use of it. Why should I have to use the um, TradingView as a separate software? Then in that case, you can always use Zerodha as well. This is a Zerodha interface which I have logged in system, so which you can use it for um, similar kind of patterns which you can see, which will be available, where you can set the similar setup which I've shown to you from the indicator box, where you will be able to set. For example, we will take an example of a Reliance, which is more similar, which we have discussed in the um, trading view. So similar thing which you can see here. I have added multiple indicators. I'll just remove the stochastics which I have used for further confirmation. Here you can add the indicators similarly. So you can choose the candlesticks and go to the indicator section, check for the moving. Here you don't have any restrictions because it is the moving average. You can add it. Um, Instead of simple moving average, better to have the exponential moving average, which will give an aggressive percentage movement of, for the days in which you have given. Okay, so here I'm going to use the same settings option and then change the smaller length 12 and color, which I'm changing it to um, green, so that whenever there is a movement which will give it in a green. And for the larger time frame, I'm just going to give 24 and color which I'm selecting red, and just increasing the strength of the line so that you'll be able to see. Okay, similar pattern you can see in the Zerodha as well. You can set up that, and you can since it is an SMA, it is showing very aggressive outputs. But if you wanted to see a simple moving average, you will have to choose the simple moving average so that this aggressive movements will not be there. So this is for a short swings which you can use it. If you wanted to hold it for a longer while, better to use the simple moving average with the combination which I've shown before, which is nothing but an SMA. You can select moving average, and then you can change the settings as a um, 24, and you can change the colors accordingly. Green. Okay, so here you can see the movement are not so aggressive because it is a simple moving average which we have chosen. um, there is options which may be available in the um, trading view, where you will be able to adjust whether you can use an exponential or a simple moving average. And I also added the MACD. I have not changed any setting for the MACD, just kept it as such. So you'll be able to see that the similar pattern in the November month, you can see there is a confirmation to buy this stock, but however there is a decline. It is giving a indication to come out. Okay, whereas in the other one which we have seen, which is the simple moving average, which is given a very good indication of holding that for a longer term. Okay, um, there are slight differences with the indicators which we use. So based on that, we will be able to easily identify the moving average. There is smoothened moving average is also there, but I have not used this one. So you can use the moving average exponential or this one. And similarly, crossover is another one which we talked about in that one. Cross MA crossover, which you can use it. Um, by default, it will have some settings. You can change that as a 12, 24 length, 12, 24. Okay, that will also give an indication. Um, they You can change the time frame, how many ever years you wanted. So this you can change to date and you'll be able to see the patterns. It also indicates at a particular point where need to be buy, and I will change this as an RSA so that you will also get an RSA view of confirmation relative indicator, which will also shows that which is in the overbought or over sold zone. So you can adjust the settings as I mentioned before, whether 25 or 80, so that those dotted lines or the overbought oversold zones can be marked. So you can see when it touches the highest point here, it shows that it is a position where you can close it if you are a swing trader. If you're a long-term investor, you can use it for a longer time frame. So you can also add additional indicators like um, moving average by changing the settings to 50 moving average, so that you can add 50 moving average, 100 moving average, and all other indicators accordingly. Okay. Um, so this will help you to actually see whether you can hold it for a longer term by adding. I'm just using 50 and 200 so that you will be able to understand whether it can be holded for a long term. As I mentioned, the similar thing, 50 is in blue color and uh, purple color, which is for the 200. Whenever it touches this line, we need to exit because it is going to go in the overselling is happening. But as long as it maintains above the 50 moving average, we can carry on that position to be carried out until we close. If you can see from this point, um, the candlesticks are well above the 50 moving average. So it can be still hold until it crosses at this point. It crossed at this point. So if you can exit at this position, you will have a profit. Okay, so I've shown how to set up the indicator in both um, TradingView and this one, just in the moving average. There are a lot of other indicators which we can discuss in the upcoming sessions. Um, Thank you, friends. Thanks for watching the session. However, I would request you to um, subscribe to um, Share Market Winners um, and keep um, looking for updates in the channel. Thank you all.